Ladies and gentlemen, Nova Talk Television, and we are on the Vanguard Show. Gad Kanyesije is the host. Today I'm so delighted to host a one which is Gideon, and he prefers to be called Nova. Nova, you're so welcome on this platform.
Thank you so much, Gad. I am really honored and glad to be on this show.
Thank you very much. And today we are going to talk about the security of this country. Last week, on the 16th, there were twin suicide bombings in the country, in the capital of Kampala. One was at the Parliamentary Avenue, another one outside CPS. We have reports from the police whereby they say the three attackers blew themselves up near Parliament and the city's police headquarters. And the attacks came within 3 minutes of each other. More bombs have been found in other parts of the city. Going on, the Islamic State group said it was behind the attack. And those attacks follow actually in the previous weeks. We had an attack that claimed the life of a waitress in Komamboga. You remember. We had another bomb in the bus that injured several people and one died on spot. Nova, do you think the country is secure? Are we safe as a country? Ladies and gentlemen, join us in our discussion. So Nova, I come back to you. Do you think, following those attacks, do you think we are safe as a country? Let's start with that.
Thank you so much, Gad. Before I tackle your question, I want to first thank Nova Talk Television for thinking it wise and necessary to have the young people, the youth, debate about national issues, the economics, the politics, the social aspects of our country. It is important, basing on the statistics of our country, having the youth dominate the statistics, the populational statistics of the country. It is very important that we listen to them. We have seen so many young people engage in politics, engage in businesses, entrepreneurship, and so many other aspects. So it is important that we listen to them. And it's actually not just listening to them, but also trying to see that what they actually, the solutions they suggest are implemented. Because we are calling them the future. Why do we call them the future? It's because we think they have a say.
Exclusive. They call us.
They call us, well, they call us the future, and there's a reason to that.
Absolutely.
So Nova Talk Television, thank you so much for finding it necessary and important to have the youth. Now, going back to your question, well, it is a 50-50 answer. It would sound funny and weird if I came here to tell you that the country is 100% secure, when 4 days ago we had bombings in the main city of the town. But on the same note, you cannot say the country is not secure at all. At least we know of other, especially our neighbors like Congo. You know what is happening in Somalia. and all these other countries. So you cannot say that our country is not safe. But the issue is, one thing I want to first clear out is that there is no country, including the superpower, the US, that has not been attacked by terrorists. You remember when even the Pentagon was attacked some time back. Pentagon, you know, the security that those people have, but they were attacked. But that does not, I do not want to paint a picture that will probably send our security system to bed just because we have justification of bigger countries being attacked by terrorists. We can fight our way through and manage. When you ask me whether the country is secure, I will also ask, are you secure as an individual? Because security starts with you, God. It starts with you. And people really need to know this. Before we run to blame the police, to blame the military, to blame the politicians, to blame the government, what have you done as an individual to make sure that you are safe? I'll give you an example. We are in a lockdown. We are still under a lockdown. Okay? The bars are closed. Okay? And we have a bomb in a bar at Komamboga late in the night after 7, right?
Yes. And
people are drinking. People are having those other dishes. And after this bomb, we want to rush to blame the government. In the first place, were you in the right position? That is the first question. How have you positioned yourself in regard to security? I want to give an example. If they said that we suspect there might be thieves somewhere down there, and you think it wise to walk towards that direction, if you got attacked by thieves and got robbed, yes, who is to blame? Of course, we love to politicize everything in Uganda. We will rush to say, why? How can thieves be there? Never. How can everyone be there? How come thieves came to... You understand? But we need to first be secure ourselves. Then we can now...
Nova, let me ask you. Are you suggesting, or actually not suggesting, you're accusing Ugandans for not playing their part as far as security of the country is concerned?
You see, God, I do not want you to generalize. There are some elements, for example. But this is one, I was just building my argument. It is one of the elements, recklessness of us as citizens, some members. Because as some people were respecting the curfew restrictions in their homes, sleeping, some few elements were in Komamboga drinking in a wrong time. So, some elements, I won't say all Ugandans. 2, I want to say that I think our security is somehow, somewhere lacking. Why? Because we got warnings from the UK, you remember? Yeah. We got warnings from the UK. Well, I do not actually think these warnings were serious as an individual, because I came to find out that they were naked warnings. Because as a government, if you're warning a certain government over terror threats, you're supposed to give them some security information on which to base, for them to base on, to see how they can ring fence the terror attack. But you just, I want to give you a basic example. If I came to your home, Gad, and I said, I will use you an example, I'm sorry, and I said, Gad, your wife is cheating on you, and I leave it at that. Surely, where will you start? Will you now start suspecting every other individual, my wife? When you look at your shamba boy, maybe you chase them away. It seems you're the one sleeping with my wife. When you look at the boda guy who delivers food to your home, you say it seems you're the one. If you really, it is in good faith that I want to warn you that your wife is cheating, I should then say, there's a guy who normally comes and parks somewhere there in a black Harrier. I normally see your wife entering that car when you're not here. Now you have a clue, you have where to start, you have where to build on, okay? But I cannot just come and say, your wife is cheating on you and leave. So I do not find such warnings, the warnings we got from UK and whatever, I do not find them with substance, because it was just, there was no security information that could lead our security here. But on the same note, I want to believe that no information should be taken for granted, especially by security. Whether big or small or with substance or not, it should not be taken lightly. So I think somehow, somewhere, our security dozed off and they didn't take it. Because after those warnings, we should really have seen security agencies busy and serious trying to find out. I even doubt they went a mile ahead to contact those who had warned them. Can you please give us more information about these threats? You understand? So I don't want you to put it like I am blaming Ugandans alone. Yes, some Ugandans are reckless. I will say that without fear of contradiction. Some Ugandans, me inclusive, we are reckless. We don't care. We don't mind. That is how we are, and we need to change that. But then our security agencies also need to wake up.
Now, there is a theory, and whenever there is an attack in the country, you find somehow Muslims are involved. Not only being involved, but the security forces link these attacks to the Muslims. What could be the problem? Should I think most of all these attacks, ranging from the Entebbe massacres, those who used to kill women, the death of Chigundu, come to Kagezi, come to the recent attacks of one General Katumba, somehow Muslims are a target as far as security is concerned in the country. What could be the problem? Why the Muslims?
God and our viewers, there is something that we need to all understand. As we debate on these issues, we need to also educate our people. The ADF do we know what the ADF is? That is the first question. Because security, and actually the president in his official statement about the bombings, he links all these attacks to the ADF. If it is true that it is the ADF, then we need to know who the ADF, what the ADF is, who its members are, its basis, foundation, the motives, the objectives, and all that. Now, the ADF, I will not give the whole information, but I'll give the most important. The ADF was founded by Jamil Mukuru. Jamil Mukuru comes from a staunch Catholic family in Kayunga here, Busoga region. Jamil Mukuru goes for, I think, higher education, because he did some course in Nairobi, and after that he goes to Saudi Arabia. Now, for the time he spent in Saudi, he came back here when he had turned radical. I want all people to understand the main objective of these actually all Islamic terror groups. There is something called caliphate. Caliphate, you'll need to guard. I'm giving you homework, but I'll tell you what it is. Caliphate is a worldwide, is a concept of a single Islamic world government. So most of these terror groups want a one Islamic world government. When Jamil Mukuru came back from Saudi, what he wanted was Uganda turned into an Islamic state. That is what he wanted. But still, under the Islamic religion, there are still subdivisions that do not actually agree. Because when Jamil Mukuru came, he actually didn't agree with the Uganda Muslim Supreme Council then, to an extent that he organized some group and they attacked the headquarters of the Uganda Muslim Supreme Council here at Old Kampala. They attacked. He was actually imprisoned after that and later got out. But what I want people to understand, if we are dealing with the ADF, you cannot be an agent of the ADF when you are not a Muslim.
Ooh.
Yes, you can't. First of all, these are people who are fighting to have an Islamic state, Uganda as an Islamic state, or even a worldwide Islamic culture. You understand? You also need to understand the recruitment of these rebel groups. They do not call for people to come. They force people to join. So these people are forcefully turned into radicals, into radical Muslims. You understand? That ideology is instilled into their brains. So it would be funny for you to expect a Joseph to be an agent of the ADF. I don't think that the ADF would recruit you and leave you to be a Joseph. The ADF is typical Islamic. Actually, it is the only Islamic. You know, Congo has so many militias. It is the only Islamic rebel group in Congo. The only. So it is an Islamic. It is an Islamic. I don't know whether you understand what those radical extremists do and how much hate they have for other religions. So let's not just rush out to say Muslims are Muslims. But on the same note, it's not true that all Muslims are bad, that all Muslims are terrorists. It is wrong to Islamize terrorism. There are so many good Muslims.
Well,
but a second, God, I want you to ask yourself, how many Muslims we have in Uganda? Why those specific ones? Why aren't all Muslims being hunted? Why aren't they being pinpointed? You see, God, when we are walking on the road and eventually security agencies come and pick me, then you need to ask yourself, why? I was walking with him. Why didn't they take me as well? Before you say, hey, they took him, these security guys are bad, whatever. Why didn't they take you? So let's not rush to... We need to understand ADF. If it is true that it is the ADF attacking us, then I do not expect a Gad, a Gideon, a Joseph. I expect those names.
Let's leave it at that. Thank you, Nova, with our viewers. So now, over the past days, after the attacks in the capital, we heard that some suspects who were carrying other bombs, some of them were killed. Even, is it yesterday? No. In the last week, like on Friday, another suspect was as well killed. Why do you think our security somehow is killing these suspects? Explain that, then we move further.
Okay, God and our viewers, we need to understand how terrorists operate. I want you to imagine someone who gets a bomb, sacrifices his or her life to just go and kill other people. Now, I want you to imagine that you are the officer who is going to arrest that same person. These people do not value life. They have been trained to die for a long time. Okay? So, but we also have questions on the security at the same time. I heard that actually the last one was got arrested, handcuffed, and shot. I am trying to figure out how someone who is handcuffed can now become danger to the security. It's really disturbing. Unless there is something that you're trying to cover, and it's that same person who has that information. Unless. You remember some time back when one Sebuli May, that guy who was following a minister, he was arrested, handcuffed, and shot. And I think up to today, we do not actually exactly know what happened and why he was shot that way. So it's not the first time this is happening, and there are a lot of questions that me and you might not have answers for. But I condemn such acts of security agencies, arresting and cuffing and shooting. That tells a lot that we do not know. You probably maybe you're a security officer and you connived with these guys and you're rushing to cover your tracks.
We had locusts in this country last year. Then COVID came. It's also a terrorist of its sort. For 1 year and 6 months so far? Or 8 months. 1 year and 8 months.
1 and 8.
I mean, that the economy has been down. As the government plans to open in January, terror attacks in the capital. Cocktail of issues. What do you think will happen to our economy come 2022?
We are not waiting for it to happen. It's already happening. The economy is down. We cannot wait for it unless you're asking me when we are waiting for the economy to be totally at zero. But the economy is already affected. People are suffering, and it is going on. I'm sorry to say that. Why? Because as the economy is trying to struggle and get out of the COVID heat, the COVID wave, now bombs coming. You know what such attacks translate into in terms of the economy? They badly affect the tourism sector. You will not have, if Uganda was at number 7 in terms of security, you know, when you go to Google, they rank. I think Rwanda is taking number 1 now in Africa for the safest destination. I don't know how true that is though, but when you go to Google, you will see Rwanda is ranked number 1. I don't recall what position we hold as Uganda, but if we were at number 7, we are probably at number 10 or 15. Okay? These attacks have been received by the whole world. Every country is aware that Uganda was attacked. So do you really expect a tourist to think of coming to Uganda? No. Tourism is the second following agriculture in terms of revenue collection to our budget. So this is really increasingly hitting us hard as a country. COVID-19 hit us. Up to now, I think the government does not have a clear, they are planning to open, as the president said in his earlier address. He says he's going to open whether we are all vaccinated or not in January. So I am not seeing a clear plan, a clear opening plan. We are ready to open, but we are not prepared. I say this again, we are ready to open because every other person wants, they want to be free, they want to go and work, people in the entertainment want to have their life again, people with bars want to go and work again. But are we prepared as a country? No. Do we know how many businesses need help, relief? We don't. Do we know? So the issue is that the economy is already down and government needs to do a lot to make sure, to see how they can revamp the economy and get it back to its feet.
Thank you very much, Nova. Thank you, our dear viewers, for you've been with us since we started. Nova, as we conclude, what do you have for the youth? This is a youth talk show. Whereas we shall be having old people to come and engage in our discussions. What do you have for them? Because we have information that all of these terrorizing our capital, most of them are youth. They are young people. What do you think our youth should do right now to start valuing life? That is one. Two, how do you advise this government in trying to curb that vice from the biggest percentage of the young people? As far as our population is concerned, we are very many by the way. So what do you have for the youth, mostly now, in such hard times?
Thank you, God, and our viewers. One, I will say government does not have a lot of control over the nurturing, grooming, and shaping of the youth. We are seeing hundreds of thousands of young Ugandans flying to Asia, to those Asian countries, to Arab countries, to look for something to eat, for survival. How do you then expect the government, how is the government going to do that, to follow them and see that they are not now absorbed by the radical groups? Because those are their bases, that's where they base. You understand? We have a very high rate of unemployment. There is nothing bad like being idle. It's very bad. So that means you have so many young people who are idle. An idle mind is a devil's workshop. It is very easy, even if these young people have needs, starting from the adolescent stage, you start having needs. You want that stage itself creates demand. You want to look good, you want to be appreciated, you want to put on a nice shirt, you want to to go to a saloon and look good, you want to have some money, you want to now, if you're a boy, you want to start looking onto girls and spending on them, but you do not have 1,000 shillings in your pocket. And you have this terrorist who is telling you, we are giving you 1 million every month. Of course, they are deceiving you. They just want to have you in. So, but still, I want to put this back to the family. Charity begins at home. I think parents have not done enough today. I am not so old, but at least when I was young, everyone was a parent. Whenever and wherever you saw an old person, someone older than you, whether you are related or not, you would run away if you are doing something bad. If they got you, they would punish you. They would beat you. And you would not go to report to your parents that so and so beat me because I was doing something bad. Because you knew they would add you more canes. They would say, what were you doing? Hey, okay, down, let's add. Today, it's more of my child is my child, you cannot, you keep your child. Today, it's more of a dad, a father who wakes up at 6 in the morning and comes back at 6 or probably midnight if they came early. And that is Monday to Monday. You understand? So these young people, these children, these kids have lacked parenting, even in the presence of their parents. Same thing, the mothers now no longer stay at home. We no longer have nuclear families, because these families would, even when the mom and dad were not there, extended, sorry. Even when the mom and dad were not there, there were uncles, there were grandparents there. But we are here in Kampala, you're alone, you have your wife and your children, and that is it. And these children, you do not find time to counsel them, to talk to them, nothing. And you have not allowed them to be parented by the society. By the society. They are your children. So these people do not know, they don't have morals. They are not parented like we were, or those before us. So that is a very big challenge. As I conclude, as much as we might blame the parents, we might blame the government, but we also, as youth, we have a role to play. We have a role to play. You have to sit down and convince yourself that terrorism, that violence is not the best thing to do. I have made some simple research on other countries. Uganda is the only country where you can kweyiya that phrase.
Thank you very much, Nova, for your time. Thank you, dear viewers. This is Nova Talk Television, and the show is The Vanguard, hosted by Gad Kanyesije. Next Tuesday, we shall be having a number of panelists. Keep with us. Subscribe to all our channels on YouTube, Nova Talk Television. Follow us on Twitter at Nova Talk Television. Follow us on Facebook, Nova Talk Television, and on my account, Gad Kanyesije. Until next time, keep safe.